Hello and welcome to that Deacon on YouTube. I'm just going to share a little bit with you this month about what I'm doing and give you an update on a couple of ministries that I've been doing now for a number of years to show how they are doing, let you know what changes have taken place. The first one I'd like to talk about is thoughtful walking. And this ministry, I think we're going on our third year. It's hard to keep track anymore. It's just something I do weekly. So the months roll into years with it. But we're doing quite well. On a typical Tuesday now, I can guarantee that there will be between 10 and 15 walkers that join us at 10 a.m. Some of them are from my church. There are people that have been religiously joining that walk every Tuesday. And some of them are friends who are not involved with my parish. And then there are people that join us from an online gathering service. It's called Meet Up. And you can check it out in your city to see if they have that service available. I don't know if it's just in California, LA County. I don't know, but Meetup is a neat service that's a pay service. I think it's about $80 a year, and you can post a meetup. I put all the information in about our Tuesday walks at Descanso Gardens, and we get a number of people that have joined us through that, and a lot of them have stayed. So we really have half churchy folks and half regular newbie community folks that join us every Tuesday. And this wonderful community has been formed through this. We've had people that are newly retired. We have had people join us who have lost a spouse. One gentleman who joins us now found a note from his wife prior to her death that talked about thoughtful walking, almost as if she knew something was going to happen and she wanted to leave this suggestion for her husband who would be left behind. And he has joined us. He told us that story. So we have kind of nurturing him through this transition in life. So there's a lot more that happens at Thoughtful Walking than just walking. We are ministering and catering and enabling a community to be formed that is thoughtful, caring, and above all, it's a community that listens. I didn't know this was going to be so important, but especially in today's political climate, people don't feel they're being listened to or they're being yelled at. There's opposing sides screaming at one another. And believe it or not, Thoughtful Walking has become a safe place for people to discuss ideas and their interpretations, usually based upon the quote that I hand them. But we've learned a lot about people's lives, and people have learned that other people's ideas and thoughts are just as valid as their own. So there's a lot of healing taking place at Thoughtful Walking is on Tuesdays. The other ministry I'd like to share with you is Laundry Love. Now, we've been doing that ministry for about 4 years now, and we finally hit the target audience that we wanted to reach when we started. That being the homeless population in that area. It has taken a while for the word to get out. There are certain agencies in the area, other churches, that now know that we're doing this. And when they meet people who are homeless and they're giving them some help or some services they provide, they tell them about Laundry Love taking place on the second Wednesday of each month. And we finally have reached a number of our target audience, our target guests that we wish to meet. So we're finally getting the people that we had hoped to help through this service. Of course, we don't mind the low-income people that come in also. But again, this is another program that kind of takes people and puts them together no matter what their circumstance may be. There was a person even recently who accepted our help from Laundry Love, and he was very befuddled. The laundromat owner saw this person come in with some clothes, and he said, you know, it's free tonight if you put your name on the list, and he did. And we came over, we had soap, we had the quarters, we told him, you know, where he has to fill his laundry. He was befuddled because he said, I'm a business owner, I can pay for this. And I just said, yeah, but this is what grace feels like, an unwarranted gift. Just let us do it, we'd be happy to. And so he was at first just a little bit confused by the whole thing. But then he settled into it and was thankful, and maybe, just maybe in his regular life out in the world, I don't know what business he has, but maybe in his dealings with other people, he has learned to just accept people as they are, and to treat them with fairness and equity. And so maybe he walked out with that lesson. I don't know. But we've been doing a roaring business on the second Wednesday of each month with a lot of new people that just come in that we'll never see again, and then our regulars. I must say that not too long ago, the owner of the laundromat called me at the church office to say, don't bring any food this month. It's on me, I'm going to order pizza for everyone. And so he's been a total supporter of this ministry. I understand, talking to other people who put on a Laundry Love, that they sometimes have problems with the laundromat owner, even though they don't mind taking the money that is given to them on a Laundry Love night. They're still a little bit apprehensive about things. And I've got to say that the owner of our laundromat truly understands that this is a ministry, and he embraces it, and he takes part in it every month without fail. He even buys coffee for everyone. So Laundry Love is going on strong. Last month, I think we had 6, could be stretching it a bit, but 4 or 6 volunteers from my church that were there. I'm really, really proud of the fervor in which our community in La Cañada has embraced this ministry, whether it be donating suds of powdered laundry detergent, or giving us quarters, or just being there to help out. They have truly stepped up to the plate and are active in this. And I hope meeting people that will change their lives through service to others. So it's going on strong. Not too long ago, I read an article stating that hate crimes have increased, not just in the United States, but hate crimes over the globe have increased about 25%. So these 2 sociologists in England decided to do a study. And what they found was quite interesting. They looked at cities that did not have much of a problem with hate crimes. And then they looked at the cities where there was little hate crime and where Facebook had become more prevalent in their online presence. And believe it or not, I love the way they found this out. They looked at Nutella. You know what Nutella is? It's that hazelnut chocolate spread, and it's very popular in Germany. Well, they looked at this town in Germany that had a low crime rate for hate crimes, and then they found that Facebook had become more prevalent in that town because a number of people happened to click on the fact that they liked Nutella. So that gave them a criteria to know how many people in that city were on Facebook by using the Nutella factor, if I could call it that. Then they found, after a period of time, that hate crimes had increased. And then they found out that Facebook's algorithms bring people together who have similar interests. So what Facebook unwittingly, or maybe wittingly, I don't know, that's why it's become so dangerous. What Facebook had done is bring these people together so that they could spout various forms of hate against whatever group they happened to hate at that moment. It could be people who were homosexual, it could be people who had a different religious background, it could be racial, it could be immigrants that are moving in these cities from different areas. But what happened was, because these people read the same comments over and over, in their minds, they were unable to distinguish between right and wrong. They were unable to distinguish that you don't talk about other human beings in that way, and that you don't go out and harm people just because they are different than you. So their entire understanding of social mores had been adjusted because they just saw the hate that was spewed out in front of them in text format, so much so that they thought hateful language or hateful violence was natural. Boy, that's scary. I could not believe that when I read it. And it makes me wonder how many of those people are regular churchgoers, you know? Not so many people are attending churches anymore, but I know, at least in the Episcopal Church, you're not going to be given permission to hate other people. In fact, we're going to talk about that all the time as we try to proclaim and teach the gospel message. I used that story about Nutella and Facebook hate crime fostering, if I could use that word, when I had to preach recently. I was given the passage from Luke, from the Beatitudes, with its blessings and woes, and I equated that to the typical acknowledgement of shame and honor and shame. The Beatitudes, especially in Luke, cover that. Blessed are you, woe to you. So it's honor and shame. This notion of honor and shame, of course, is still with us. So I was able to tie that into the sermon illustration from the sociologist report. And it really shows that the gospel message and the teachings of Christ of openness and acceptance and love towards our neighbor is still valid and desperately needs to be told. Speaking of honor and shame, I just read that the Archbishop of Canterbury, proposing the Lambeth Conference in 2020, has sent letters to Episcopal bishops who have same-sex spouses, saying that their spouses will not be given an invitation to the conference. This I just can't fathom, especially coming from a church that is supposedly following Christ. Christ was the one who said the last shall be first, and to not invite, I think it's only 2 spouses because they are in a same-sex union, is not promoting the gospel message. It is not promoting the inclusion that Christ teaches. And I think it smacks of colonialism, that notion that the head of the church in England, who is to be first among equals, is playing the colonialism card that was once a part of England during its great empire days. Someone needs to tell them they are no longer part of an empire. And if they are to be a relevant church in the 21st century, they're going to have to welcome everyone, or not invite any of the spouses, because if one is excluded, all should be excluded as well. I would hope that someone amongst the clergy there would wake up bishops and wake up dioceses to say, people, there's a world out there we've got to work with. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done, and stop turning inward and look outward. But alas, I don't see that happening. But that's the word from around the Anglican globe. Thank you very much for watching. Next month, I'm going to cover our morning apart that we're going to be offering at St. George's, La Cañada, entitled The Way of Our Cross. So I will show you what happened with that little half-day retreat coming up in March during Lent. And I won't be seeing you until we're into Lent. So as we turn the page of our liturgical calendar, may you walk into Lent with a newfound purpose to rediscover yourself, rediscover your purpose in the church, and rediscover your acquaintance with God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Until then, I'll see you next month then. Bye-bye.